The United Kingdom is a great country, but there is no doubt we face a profound economic challenge. We now need stability and unity, and I will make it my utmost priority to bring our party and our country together, because that is the only way we will overcome the challenges we face and build a better, more prosperous future for our children and our grandchildren.
With an economy in mess, a winter of strikes, a looming energy predicament, and a healthcare system in distress, Rishi Sunak, the UK's new Prime Minister, inherits a mountain of challenges from his predecessor, Liz Truss. He pledges to fix the mess. How will he tackle the profound economic crisis? Let's wait and watch. Economic events often make headlines. However, it is not always understandable from these stories what influenced these particular events, much less what future aftermaths can be anticipated. The underlying principles implicated in most economic events are usually not very complicated in themselves, but the political eloquence and economic jargon in which they are discussed can make these events appear vague. Hello and welcome, I am Bhavya Neeraj, and in today's episode of The Delight of Wisdom, I will clarify why a clear understanding of economics is important. Let's dig deep into it by first comprehending what economics means. For that, we must know what an economy is. Most of us think of an economy as a system for the production and distribution of the goods and services we use in everyday life. That is true as far as it goes, but it does not go far enough. The Garden of Eden was a system for the production and distribution of goods and services. But it was not an economy, because it was a plethora of resources. Everything was available in absolute abundance. Without scarcity, there is no need to economize, and therefore no economics. According to Lionel Robbins, a distinguished British economist, economics is the study of the use of scarce resources which have alternative uses. So, what is scarcity? It means that what everybody wants adds up to more than there is. This may look like a simple thing, but its significances are often grossly misunderstood, even by highly enlightened people. There has never been enough to satisfy everyone fully. That is the real restraint. That is what scarcity means. Regardless of policies, schemes, or institutions, whether they are sensible or foolish, noble or ignoble, there is truly not enough to go around to satisfy all our desires to the fullest. Unmet needs are inherent in these circumstances, whether we have a capitalist, socialist, feudal, or another kind of economy. Thus, economics is not only about handling the existing output of goods and services. It is more fundamentally about producing that output from scarce resources. It analyzes the outcomes of decisions that are made about the use of land, labor, capital, and other resources that go into producing the volume of output which defines a country's standard of living. Those decisions and their consequences can be more important than the resources themselves. For example, there are poor countries with rich natural resources and rich countries with relatively few natural resources but high standards of living. The values of natural resources per capita in Uruguay and Venezuela are several times what they are in Japan and Switzerland. But real income per capita in Japan and Switzerland is more than double that of Uruguay and several times that of Venezuela. It's the economic policies which determine whether a country is poverty-stricken or prosperous. Not only scarcity but also alternative uses are at the soul of economics. If each resource had only one use, economics would be much simpler. But iron ore can be used to produce steel products ranging from paper clips to automobiles to the frameworks of skyscrapers. How much of each resource should be allocated to each of its many uses? Every economy has to resolve that concern, and each one does in one way or another, efficiently or inefficiently. Doing so efficiently is what economics is about. Different kinds of economies are essentially different ways of making decisions about the allocation of scarce resources. And those decisions have repercussions on the life of the whole society. A better way of understanding the consequences of economic decisions is to look at them in terms of the incentives they create, rather than simply the goals they pursue. This means that consequences matter more than intentions, and not just the immediate consequences, but also the long-run repercussions. Sri Lankan economic nightmare, for instance. Rajapaksa's poor economic mismanagement led to the crisis. At the end of its civil war in 2009, Sri Lanka preferred to focus on providing goods to its domestic market, instead of trying to boost foreign trade. This means that its income from exports to other countries remained low, while the bill for imports kept growing. Sri Lanka now imports more than it exports every year, and that is why it has run out of foreign currency. When Sri Lanka's foreign currency shortages became a serious problem in early 2021, the government tried to limit them by banning imports of chemical fertilizers. Farmers were told to utilize locally sourced organic fertilizers. This led to widespread crop failure. Sri Lanka had to supplement its food stocks from abroad, which made its foreign currency shortage even worse. Nothing is easier than to have good intentions, but without an understanding of how an economy works, good intentions can lead to counterproductive or even disastrous consequences for a whole nation. Listen to this.
I want to pay tribute to my predecessor, Liz Truss. She was not wrong to want to improve growth in this country. It is a noble aim. And I admired her restlessness to create change. But some mistakes were made. Not born of ill will or bad intentions. Quite the opposite, in fact. But mistakes nonetheless.
Standing in front of his Downing Street office, Rishi Sunak paid tribute to Liz Truss, whose economic program roiled the markets, saying the mistakes she made were not born of ill will or bad intentions. Many economic catastrophes have been a result of policies intended to be beneficial, and these disasters could often have been avoided if those who originated and supported such policies had understood economics. A clear notion of economics has a profound impact on stock market participation. Efficient investment decisions can only be made through an unmistakable understanding of those economic scenarios. As I already told in the tale of money, our economic system are so tightly bound up with our political, social and ideological systems. That's why economic crises are often triggered by political developments, and the stock market fluctuations depend on the way traders feel on a particular morning. So the key takeaway from the episode is, economics is not just a matter on which to express opinions or vent emotions. It's a logical analysis of cause and effect, demonstrating what happens when you do certain things in certain ways. Hope you got a clear notion of the significance of economics. Thanks for watching. If you find this video informative, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will see you in the next episode.